What's up guys, my name is Stoody and I'd like to welcome you all back to another video. In today's video I'm going to be doing my AFL Round 23 tips for the 2023 AFL season. Now before we get into this week's tips, we're going to go ahead and have a look and see how it went last week. So last week was a pretty straightforward week. I got 7 out of 9 correct tips. I think pretty much everyone got 7. The two that I got wrong were the two obvious ones. They were Carlton and Hawthorn. The only problem is that Melbourne were robbed big time because they kicked a goal with like 40 seconds to go that they called a point. So clear match fixing right there. It's just typical of Gillum McLaughlin and the AFL, really reading matches all the time. It's disgusting. But anyway, I am now on 129 tips for the season. So let's just get into this week's tips. On Friday night, we have Collingwood taking on Brisbane at Marvel Stadium. Again, more match fixing right here. Collingwood being robbed a home game here against Brisbane of all teams. What an absolute joke. I'm still going to tip Collingwood by 14 points, but if Collingwood lose this game, then there's going to be a lot of debate on whether this game was rigged or not. I do expect to see Brisbane getting severely protected by the umpires in this one, because Brisbane aren't that good. They could barely beat Adelaide at home. You know, where my Tigers, they absolutely destroyed Adelaide in Adelaide. So, yeah, that's very concerning for Brisbane, and I think they're going to get protected big time, but I'm still tipping Collingwood because they're clearly the better team. Saturday afternoon, we have Richmond VFL taking on North Melbourne at the MCG. I'm going to be doing Richmond VFL in this one by 73 points. Richmond VFL will be pissed off after getting robbed pretty much the whole entire year. It's Trent Cotchin and Jack Crawford's last game. And that's the only reason I'm tipping Richmond. If it wasn't their last game, I'd be tipping North Melbourne because I know this game will be rigged. And I know they will make sure, Gillum McLaughlin will try his hardest to make sure Richmond get robbed in this game, which I'm expecting. But it's Cotchin and Rewalt's last game. I'm sure Richmond will show up to this one and not tank this game like they have been tanking the last few weeks. The other Saturday afternoon game, we have Gold Coast taking on Carlton at Metricon Stadium. I'm going to win Carlton in this one by 38 points. You just can't go past Carlton at the moment when it comes to the tipping. They've won, what, 8 in a row or something like that. They just seem almost unstoppable. They should have lost last week due to match fixing, but you know, it's against Gold Coast. Gold Coast just aren't very good at all, so Carlton clearly the better team, and you know, I think this one's a pretty obvious one. Saturday twilight, we have GWS Giants taking on Essendon at Giants Stadium. I'm going to be doing GWS in this one by 22 points. GWS, they've lost a couple of games, but I wouldn't be surprised if they bounce back here at home. Going up against Essendon, who can barely beat the two bottom teams, so if that's any indicator of how bad Essendon is, then they're definitely losing this game. Saturday night, we have St Kilda taking on Geelong at Marvel Stadium. I'm going to be doing Geelong in this one by 1 point, only because of the fact that 74% have gone Geelong. This is just a defensive tip, pretty much. That's the only reason I'm tipping Geelong. I do think St Kilda will win this. Not only will they be protected by the umpires, I just think Marvel Stadium, that they'll do better than Geelong. Geelong are missing finals, St Kilda aren't, so I'm tipping Geelong only because everyone else is. The other Saturday night game, we have Adelaide taking on Sydney at Adelaide Oval. I'm going to be tipping Adelaide in this one by 9 points. Sydney have been really overhyped, overrated lately, so I think Adelaide will bring them back down to earth in this game. It's at home for them. They'll be desperate to make the 8. Sydney, they won't make the 8, obviously. So Adelaide should be able to get the job done at home here. Sunday afternoon, we have the Western Bulldogs taking on West Coast at Marvel Stadium. This one's obvious. I'm only tipping Western Bulldogs in this one by 113 points. I just think West Coast are useless and they're just playing for Harley Reid. So Western Bulldogs basically getting a free ride into the finals with this one, so don't need to discuss any more of this. Moving on to Sunday afternoon, we have Melbourne taking on Hawthorn at the MCG. I'm going to tipping Melbourne in this one by 65 points. Hawthorn, that game must have been rigged last week. There's no way Hawthorn beat Western Bulldogs legitly. So this is just an obvious tip. It's obvious Melbourne are going to win. They're pissed off after they got robbed last week. But to be fair, they had it coming after Richmond got robbed against Melbourne a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, top team versus a bottom team. Nothing else to say, really. Sunday twilight, we have Fremantle taking on Port Adelaide at Optus Stadium, going to Port Adelaide in this one by 26 points. Port back on the winners list last week. Fremantle season over, so I think Port should be able to account for Fremantle here and get the job done, because they'll be trying to get themselves into a top 2 spot, especially if Brisbane lose on Friday night. Second spot will be up for grabs, so Port won't want to stuff this one up. So that's it for these tips for round 23. Feel free to leave your tips in the comment section down below. Or if you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. Be sure to click the thumbs up button and leave a like on this video. Also be sure to subscribe to my premium member, Let's Chat with Nick. Link to his channel is in the description. Also be sure to become a channel member. Just click the join button next to my name. Also be sure to join my Discord server. It is called Australian Sports Community. Link to that is in the description. Also be sure to subscribe to my second YouTube channel. It is called Stoody Archives. Link to that is also in the description. Also be sure to follow me on my other social media accounts. I have Instagram, I have Twitter, and I also have TikTok. The username for all of those is StoodyYT, and links to all of those will also be in the description. I hope you had a good day, and I'll see you all in the next video.